Yeah. Hey, say when. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Uh, Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Conservation Commission of Wednesday, October 11th, 7 p.m. In accordance with MGL uh, Chapter 30A, Section 18 to 25, notice is hereby given a meeting of the Peabody Conservation Commission. At this time, the Peabody Conservation Commission hearings will continue to be held remotely, which is allowed pursuant to Governor Maura Healey's March 29, 2023 extension of the temporary position provisions allowing remote hearings. The public may participate in this meeting remotely. So to get started, first on the agenda, I have certificates of compliance.
Through the chair, you first have to say who's in the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Attending the meeting tonight is Vice Chairman Michael Rizzo, Secretary Michael Vivaldi, Commissioner Arthur Athis, Commissioner Bruce Comack, and Commissioner Amanda Green. Now I can start. Certificates of compliance. And if you want to talk when we open this up for the public, raise your hand and make sure you tell us your name and your address for the record. I'll repeat that as time goes on, but in the meantime, we're starting with item 1, certificates of compliance. I believe, Jack, you're speaking for these people?
You read the notice.
Read the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. A request for a full certificate of compliance is made by Attorney John R. Kelty on DEP file number 55660. The project was the construction of a commercial building and sport complex. The address is known as 190 Newberry Street, map 35, lot 37, 37A, 38A, and 38X, Peabody, Mass. The above order of conditions has lapsed and is no longer valid. The work was constructed. At this point, since the order of conditions has expired, we need a revised one. And we also need an as-built plan. To explain further, item 2 is the same location, but in this case, I believe item 1 talks about the building which now houses, or it used to house Latitudes, and the property is one big property, including the land behind it. And now we're looking at separating them. Jack, you want to talk about this? Jack, can you hear me?
He's muted.
He's muted. Jack, you're muted. Jack Kelty, you're muted.
Through the chair, while he's figuring out unmuting himself, Mike Rizzo, I think you might be one of the only people on the board who remembers this property. But when I pulled this file, 660, it used to be one lot. It was the front were Latitudes or whatever it's called now, and then also the back lot that's going to be under construction. I think at this time it was called 190. I think it was just 190 Newberry. I'm not even sure.
Wasn't Rhea?
And now there's 19. It's either 194 and 190 rear or whatever. So the issue is that they subdivided. I don't know how they even got an occupancy permit, because if I'm assuming Jack did a title search and there's not even a partial certificate for it. Oddly enough, the file's missing, or one. Yep, the file is missing. So
In any event, I can be helpful here, Lucia.
oh yeah, well, okay, I'll just stop talking.
Go ahead, Jack.
It's premature to ask for this one. This is, in fact, an order of conditions that issued for the sports complex, which was originally called Latitudes. I mistakenly thought there were three iterations of three notices of intent that have issued out there. I would withdraw my request with respect to 660, because Lucia is correct that that did get built. That needs a certificate of compliance, and in order to get that, I would need to file an as-built. The next matter, 810, is the order that I'm asking a certificate of compliance as lapsed and never built would issue.
Okay.
To take this, so you're withdrawing the 190 or the 660 tonight, right?
Yes,
Right.
that's correct.
When you have an as-built, you'll come back and resubmit the request, correct?
That'll be a resubmission.
Right. All right. Item 2, just to keep up with
No,
Jack.
yeah, then through the chair, Stu will make a motion to withdraw, I'm sorry, the petition is withdrawn it, so we have to just
We have
say
to
that.
vote.
Make it,
No, I think you might
make
have
it
to vote.
official.
Well, it's official. He withdrew.
Or should we just,
Do we need a
Deny
vote
it?
to vote on?
Motion to accept the petition as withdrawal.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Yep, that motion was made by Mr. Rizzo, seconded by Mr. Athis. Did I get that correct?
Yes.
And roll call: Chairman Lazaris,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
yes,
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Athis.
Yes.
All right, so 55-660, a certificate of compliance request has been withdrawn 6-0.
Okay. Item 2, a request for a full certificate of compliance is made by Attorney John R. Kelty on DEP file number 55810. The project was the construction of a commercial building. The address is known as 190 Newberry Street, and I want to say the map is 35R or something. Lot number 37, 37A, 38A, 38X, Peabody, Mass. The order of conditions has lapsed and is no longer valid. A new order has since been issued. This request is for administrative purposes only. So we need a motion to issue. Now, this is a piece of land, right? It's undeveloped?
Yeah, I think
No.
we should make a motion to issue the certificate and check off the box that work never began.
Okay. So moved.
So
There's
the project will start under a different file number.
That's correct.
does the
Okay.
petitioner have anything else to say?
No, I do not. The advertisement and the commentary has accurately summarized what I'm asking for, which is a certificate of compliance on the basis that this particular order was never built out.
Right.
I'm just curious, is this piece of land under the same ownership? Or is
No.
it being transferred?
No, we have a new order that is issued for the backland, and that was a Hayes engineering plan that now has a new order. This certificate was for the rear land, not involving the gym. Gym was built and needs an as-built. This back piece it was never built and there is a new water. So
Okay. Through the
Okay, so
chair,
we need a motion to issue a full certificate of compliance, checking off the box that the permit is invalid and the work will start under a different file number,
so moved.
55912.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Roll call?
Yep, that motion was made by Mr. Rizzo, seconded by Ms. Green. Roll call, Chairman Lazaris,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
All right, so that passes 6-0.
Okay. Moving on to item 3, notices of intent. A continued public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by Attorney John Kelty for Josephine Cook, the owner. Proposed work is the construction of a single-family house with associated utilities, grading, driveway. The property is known as 29 Goodale Ave, map 120, lot 27, a portion of it.
Glendale.
Glendale, I'm sorry, 29 Glendale. Map 120, lot 27, or a portion of it, Peabody, Mass. Do you want to discuss this, Jack?
yes, I would like to. I'm not asking for the board to take any action. The only action would be for an additional continuance. But I have finally, we began this back in July, I believe, and we have gotten 3 reviews from Bob Langley. And unfortunately, we failed to respond appropriately. And now, as of October 3rd, we have assembled response to memos from Bob dated September 26th, July 26th, and March 2nd, all of this year. Mr. Mello's firm has now put them together as on a cut and paste basis so that you can read the question and the response. We have provided cuts and fills plans, none of which has been in Bob's possession long enough to give us a review of. But along the way, there has been a little discussion of we are aware that in order to build a single family home, we don't have to comply with stormwater management as it pertains to larger projects. And in this instance, we are proposing a single family home, but it is somewhat perilously close to a wetland area, which I think many of the commissioners were out on the site some months ago, and we were able to see just how close we are proposing to construct. So there's a question of, or a discussion of, we're providing a fair amount of stormwater management. And in so doing, we are arguably asking to do more in the wetland and resource area, or not in the resource area, but in the wetland buffer zone than might be absolutely required. But that effort is to create stormwater management, to provide stormwater management in the areas where we know that the soils will be accepting of our management, underground management facilities that will generate in water that needs to infiltrate. So I guess the real question for the board is one of direction. I believe that we should continue to move forward, having Bob review our plan, which essentially, although not necessary, applies stormwater management BMPs to this site. And while that does create a couple of areas that may otherwise be untouched, because we're now, digging in those areas and providing. I would only ask of the board, before Mr. Langley commences his review of our October 3rd assemblage. Are you comfortable as a board with us trying to provide this stormwater management and protection, rather than sort of skirting over it and not providing any, and trying to suggest that we have no requirement and we're not going to do any? So that's more of a direction question, and what say the board?
Anybody on the board want to comment?
Well, I think that through the chair, I think it was made clear at the site meeting, and I think Public Services also is weighed in on this, that it's, I know it's a single-family home, but it's somewhat of a large project for a small area, and being so close to the wetland. And it's hard to say that the impacts, there won't be impacts to the resource area as a result of the project as presented. And I think it was asked that the project be downsized. And so I think we've seen some different variations of the project, but I don't think it's been downsized. And it's a small spot to put a home so close to the wetlands. So it's, I can understand and I can appreciate the effort to address stormwater issues, which there should be, even though you're not required. I still think it's a fairly large footprint and quite a bit of disturbance on the lot for the site and the close proximity of the wetland. And I'll just leave it at that.
Anybody
So
else?
what I'm hearing is that while the general suggestion is that we should be downsizing, we at the same time should be providing as much stormwater management and protection to the wetland as we can.
Yeah, providing that it can operate properly, given
I
the
understand that.
high groundwater elevations and proper separation from the bottom of the drainage system, and the impacts associated that are created in trying to provide that. So,
Yep.
but I'm certainly not saying not to provide the stormwater.
No, and that's not what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I'm true with you. I'm finished this evening. If the board has any with this matter, and if the board has any questions or comments, I'm happy to
Has
carry.
the lot been subdivided?
Yeah, the lot sits by itself. It was subdivided, and we got a variance for the setbacks months ago.
I was
So
just
the lot
trying to,
exists.
maybe it's Lucia, can you maybe just make a note to your coworkers that when I looked up 29 Glendale, it doesn't exist in the city's property search GIS system. So I had to look up under the owner, or found out under other, it's actually comes up under the system as 25 Glendale. So
Well,
It's not-
if it was like Jack, when did you guys subdivide? Has it been like recorded? And does Susan?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No. So I mean, sometimes it's just a slow lag, unfortunately.
takes time,
Well-
sure.
Yeah, and it's the same owner, so
Could you know, when was that subdivided?
uh,
You
several.
don't
I don't have that
Like
portion of
Years
the
ago?
plan.
Was it years ago?
But
or-
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
maybe to Mike's comment, I think the fact that it's the same owner puts it in a category where there's seemingly no urgency in changing ownership of numbers. And without applying for a building permit, we probably don't have a separate street number. for this lot. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
So maybe just on the agendas going forward, just, I don't know, also known as 25 Glendale or something. But no other comments at the moment.
I have one comment, may not apply, but one thing that jumps out at me when you have one piece of property and then you subdivide it, and the criteria that might fall under this, I'm not sure, is segmentation. So you can't subdivide a piece of property and then claim a hardship when you've subdivided and you created your own hardship when you're trying to meet setback requirements and buffer zones and those kind of things. I don't know if that's for a subdivision or whether that would.
Same idea. It's a subdivision of property.
These were all land court plans. They were small, 2,500 square foot, and the subdivision actually was able to be accomplished by deed, wherein, let's say there were 7 lots, give 4 to one and 3 to the other, and at one time they were all 7 were known and numbered 25 Glendale. So we provided deeds that were, took 4 of the 2,500 square foot lots and ascribed them to 1 lot, and then the remaining land court plan lots. So we didn't really need to go before any board, planning board or otherwise, in order to reallocate these lots, and got a variance for not the subdivisions, because both lots where the existing home is and this particular lot have the area, requisite area and frontage on a public way. There was really no plan presented for A&R. So that could be another reason that if the, assessors, I could take it up with them, just showing them that there's 2 different lots.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Through the chair.
Yeah.
Just real quickly, I just want to make sure that you guys read Mass DEP's comment. I'm just going to read one sentence. They wrote a couple other things, but the main sentence is, it is Mass DEP's opinion that there may be an immediate or inadvertent alteration to this wetland resource. And then they cite 310 CMR 10.53 parentheses 1. And I believe that has to do with the amount of
Tree removal.
just like what their alteration of this, like they're altering this so much. They're like just and you guys are okay with these stormwater features. I've just never really seen these on a single family lot, and I'm just wondering if some of these stormwater features are going to work, with if a single family house is I mean, they're gonna have to pay money for people to come and but if you guys check these stormwaters out and you guys are okay with it, they're just not traditionally what you would see on single family, like the ripraps like right next to the slope. And there I could have sworn I looked at chambers on here, and it just doesn't seem like something that you would have at a single family house. Typically single family houses, they use like dry wells and rain gardens and strippers and porous pavement and all sorts of other things so that you can, you don't have to alter right up to the bank. I've already talked to Jack about this. I just think it's a massive alteration, and they could scale the house, the garage, everything way down, put the parking in the front, don't like wrap around the garage, have the parking straight off the street. I didn't see an alternative analysis. So that's just, if you guys are fine with this, I am too. If the neighbors appeal this to DEP, I would imagine DEP would definitely take the appeal and they would intervene, and the appeal would be on.
Yeah. I didn't say I was okay with everything.
Me neither.
I just made it clear that I am not okay with everything. And with regard to the stormwater, regardless of what size the home is, and what takes place, there's nothing wrong with picking up roof runoff and putting it in the ground and doing things like that to mitigate stormwater runoff. So I think stormwater, whether it's a single family house or not, it shows good intent to deal with that. So I'm not opposed to stormwater management, even for a single family home, if it's and it can be done in a way that it would not be invasive. It's maybe all the other things with the size and the driveway and the location of the driveway, all those other things to me are impacts. And I have concerns about those.
Through the chair, through the chair, is the applicant going to be making changes to the plan, or is they just submitting what was kind of before us, and they're not going to be willing to?
Oh, they're gonna review. They're gonna review Bob Langley's comments and respond to his comments, some of which were just discussed. So,
Yeah, and
that's
in Arthur, we did make some changes, not wholesale changes, but we did make some. And in trying to bring those to the attention of our reviewing agency, we found that we did a poor job of sort of indicating, what we were responding to, what we had done. There's a couple of notes that, for instance, it says we will prepare a cut and fill plan. Like back in March, we said we will prepare. Now it's been prepared and it's been filed with the material we gave to the reviewer but only on October 3rd. So it's our bad that we're not reviewed and completely at this time. And if Bob comes back with further recommendations, or we in discussion determine that there's a better way to do things, then Arthur, there would be maybe even further changes.
I have a question, Jack. On the plan, from what I could understand, there are some sort of chambers under the driveway,
Yep.
and it would take the rainwater from the downspouts and contain it in some fashion. Who cleans that out? Who's going to maintain it?
That would need to be the subject of an O&M plan, which generally speaking, when it's in larger projects, usually that's done by your landscaper. So it would be the same criteria, same burden, if you will.
When it's a larger project, we ask for reports on the stormwater management on a quarterly basis. Is that going to happen with a single family owner?
If we were to be fortunate enough to get an order, and the order says that the reporting must be done on that basis, sure.
I guess the question is how do we, asking for it or making it a requirement is one thing, but if the homeowner doesn't do it and doesn't report it, what do we do? We find
Same
the
thing you
homeowner?
do to anybody that is now not in compliance with their order of conditions. You issue an enforcement order.
Okay. But I'm concerned about how it's going to be cleaned out, but I will wait until we hear from Bob Langley and the rest of this.
May I ask if Lucia, can you remind me, or Jack, or was are the wetlands flags been approved through an ANRAD, or was it through this NOI? Are they being reviewed through this NOI?
They would be reviewed in the NOI.
So they haven't been.
We didn't do a separate flagging, and then
Have they been walked? Has Lucia walked the property?
We've walked it.
Yeah.
I have not checked the flags in months, so I would imagine if they've been up since the spring, they probably need to get replenished.
Yeah, if you get out to the site, Mike, you'll see that the wetland is very, very obvious where it is, and there's
Yeah.
a depression in the land as we get to the water body and
Through
Are
the
you
chair,
are you changing the grade of the property in building the house?
in some areas, yes.
through the chair.
And go ahead.
I couldn't find the plans on the OneDrive. Jack, could you just remind me, is it gonna be a slab, the house? Or is
Yes.
there,
No.
okay, that's what I,
Got a basement.
no,
It's-
no big,
Not a full walk-in basement. Oh, I guess yes, because the backside, you could walk out from that basement.
Right.
That's correct, Mike.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
So it's not slab, Amanda.
Okay, thank you.
So we
should we
will
continue
hopefully be
this?
back in November.
Okay.
You motion to continue till November?
Well, do we have to, can we just continue this, or do we have to open it to the public, or? I'm not sure.
I mean, if
We
there's
can open
people
it.
in the public who wish to
We should
speak,
allow, yeah, we should allow questions.
Uh,
If there's any questions, please, people, please raise their hands.
Nobody raised their hand?
I think it's safe to continue.
Okay, I think they get the point. I think they, um,
They need
All
to
right.
do some work and they gotta get Bob to look at this thing.
so I would make the motion to continue this to, is that gonna be our the November meeting, Jack?
Yes.
Okay,
Motion to continue to our November meeting.
second,
Second.
roll call.
Yep, that motion was to continue to November, I believe it's November 8th.
It is November
Made
8th.
by what?
It is November 8th.
Okay, sorry, made by Mr. Rizzo, seconded by Mr. Comack. Roll call, Chairman Lazaris,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes?
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes,
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes,
and Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
All right, so that passes. It's
Yeah.
continued to November 6th.
I have one more question on this. I have a copy of a plan that was sent to me and it needs a revised date. Has that been done?
Is that on this Cook matter, Mr. Chair?
It's on plan of land for 29 Glendale.
Yes, Stu, the
Um,
date has been revised and the scale has been, he actually submitted it with the wrong scale. And then Jack, just going forward, whenever engineers or surveyors submit plans, they have to have a revision date and they have to keep all of the dates on the original plan. So if it was
Yep.
changed 4 times, we need all 4 dates.
I understand.
Okay.
I'll make sure that our engineer understands as well.
I thought that was straightforward.
Moving on. Item
Yes.
4. Right?
Keep it going, Stu.
I think we're on item 3, actually.
3 was
Three?
Glendale.
We just passed it.
29
We just
Item
voted to
4.
continue 3. Item 4. Continue public hearing on notice of intent submitted by LEC Environmental Consultants, Inc., Andrea Kendall for De Oliver Estates LLC. Daniela De Oliver is the owner. The proposed work is the construction of a 360 square foot single-story addition to the existing commercial property with the riverfront, within the riverfront of Strongwater Brook. The property is known as 168 Main Street, map 86, lot 159, Peabody, Mass. Jack is now the legal consultant. Is that true?
Yes, the attorney for the project. Yeah. Yeah, I still have my ticket, so I don't have to be a consultant.
Okay.
Is there anybody from either Thor from Sporadis or the LEC people?
No, because I told LEC that
That's fine. That's fine.
Daniela asked me for a continuance. I see Daniela in the audience, but that's it. I see Robert Marini. You're not working with Robert Marini, are you?
No. We're gonna so this matter, the NOI was filed by Andrea Kendall, and this matter is been before the board because of two things. One is that they are seeking to build a small addition at the front of the premises, and Sporadis has designed a uh, uh, a collection basin, which is actually based on when you go to Shea Concrete to buy these things, it's a little oversized, but that's fine. In the back of the premises, there was an Eastern Land Survey uh, uh, a filing made for Diane DeSantis, who originally rebuilt that premises and opened the bakery. Now Diana owns the bakery and she seeks this addition. There were two stormwater collection facilities at the rear, one of which was built, the second of which seemingly is not there. We are going to do a little further investigation because there's some anecdotal information that that catch basin exists. But in any event, we will. We know that one of the catch basins, the gutters from the existing building are the gutter on the south side, the Salem side, that south sounds right. The southerly side of the building, they are hooked into the stormwater basin that is built. However, that basin is built on the adjacent property owner's land. We've had discussions. I've met with him. I'm on board in part to gain that easement. So I'll be speaking with. We've got a David Terenzoni is going to do us the easement plan, and in the meantime, we'll resolve the issue of. I'm of a mind that we will find that the second basin in the rear is unnecessary if we reverse our gutter on the existing building to toward the front, toward the Main Street side of the premises, and then utilizing the additional storage space in the proposed basin. I think that we can comply with the old order and at the same time give the commission the solace that they need in determining whether or not we are properly collecting the added rainwater, stormwater runoff, and also the rainwater uncontrolled at the current time from the existing building. At the current time, there's gutter that just spills out onto the pervious onto the pavement below, and that, because of the grade of the property, does get to a stormwater management facility built by our neighbor. We're not going to be asking for an easement for our water to be in his into his basin, but instead are likely to resolve this issue by adding water from the northerly side gutters to the front. But that's a calculation that we're going to need to get that old file, see what the calculations were, and see if they match up. And we will either build the second basin out back or utilize the front basin. So that will be done, and I would ask that be this matter be continued to your November meeting while I get the easement and determine whether or not we need a further basin.
Do I hear a motion from the board to continue?
Motion to,
Any questions? Any questions in the audience or no?
Don't hear any, don't see any.
Then let's, all right, so motion, I'll make a motion to continue to November meeting.
Seconded.
Roll call.
Yep, that motion was made by Mr. Vivaldi, seconded by Ms. Green. Roll call, Chairman Lazares,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos. Author, Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
Okay, that passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5. Continue public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by Native TEC Robert Marini for Escarlin Crisotomo property owner. Proposed work is the construction of a 3-car garage, earthwork, and the extension of bituminous concrete driveway within the buffer zone. Property is known as 163 Lowell Street, map 74, lot 14, Peabody, Mass. We did go out there on a site visit, and we have heard from, there was a redrawing of the land to include a swale to control runoff so it doesn't go in a neighbor's yard. Anybody have anything else to say?
Are we, is that they making a presentation tonight? Is there a,
I don't know.
I promoted Mr. Marini to panelist, and the property owner Eskerlin is also a panelist. So I hope there's a new plan. So I would imagine you guys want to see that.
That's what I was alluding to.
It's Rob Marini of Native Tech, 31 Monroe Street, Lynn, Mass. This is 163 Lowell Street is DP file number 0550925. If I could share the screen. I understand that the last time the discussion was how to store the runoff from the extended driveway and in the water draining from the garage and how we would grade that. So if I could share the screen, I could then.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Yes.
I'll enlarge it. All right, just a second. Okay, so it's a 3-car garage. The discussion was, the 3-car garage. Can we get? We're not draining water on abutting properties. See how it is a buffer zone line here. Is a riverfront line. So basically the proposed contours have a little box around the numbers. They're darker. We're grading down. It's a little flatter, the entrance to the garage. There's still the gravel trench around the driveway, around the garage, and up the side. That holds basically about an inch of water runoff, a 1-inch storm. But if it's more than that, I've graded so we take the water after it's drained off to a grass swale that flows towards the riverfront and recharges the river if it hasn't already recharged. Basically, what you want to do is recharge the ground, and the ground passes a lot of water through the soil and eventually recharges the river system. And that's what you want to do is slow the flow, and recharge the water so that the water in a brook is retaining flowing water from the banks. It's pulling water from the banks. So if we gradually get water to the river banks, it's being intercepted by the flow pattern of the stream. So here, I believe we've accomplished that. Now, there are changes to the house itself. We presented that, but that's not actually in jurisdiction. The jurisdiction line kind of ends in the garage here, and basically some of the driveway. Basically, was starting. If you saw cut the pavement along the back edge of the house, and then repave this driveway, construct the garage, repave it according to these grades, it'll be basically new bituminous in here along the face, and then they construct the garage, and then they add the other features to the house and walk. Any questions?
The only question I have is the area in green to the right of the driveway. There's a number of vertical lines in there. Is that the soil that will take water away from, or
Here?
keep water from going? Yeah.
These are these are contours. It's about a 2-to-1 slope, and then we get to the swale itself, and it's really flat. It's not a deep swale. It's only about 6 inches.
No, I'm talking about the vertical lines to the right of the driveway.
These are contours. These are contours.
It slopes towards where?
It slopes this way. See my cursor?
Okay.
It's slowing.
Yep.
Here's the abutting property here. It's sloping this way.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, Rob, we were there. There was some materials and debris that would be removed, along with a couple pieces of equipment.
Yeah, right in here. Yeah. I believe that can be conditioned, that they're willing to do that. Chris, present here is Scarlett Crisitomo, the owner. And she was there at the site walk, and she was in agreement. She was agreeable to doing that.
Yes, that's correct.
Anybody else? Any comments?
Is the roof draining? Is it sheet flow, or is it going into any kind of main barrels?
It's sheet flowing to the gravel strip along the. It's like this holds about an inch of water. Now, water coming in this direction will be intercepted here. Water all along the periphery, or the outer periphery of the roof line, will receive water, and it's not concentrated, which is good, because then you're recharging the ground. And if it does get out, it's slow. You want it slowly getting to the stream, so it's recharging the ground, so that the ground is taking water gradually into the stream, and it's a slow flow. I mean, if we had more snow, then it'd be slow. It'd be real slow in the spring.
Robert,
what you want.
Through the chair, are there roof conduits coming off the building to get into the trench?
That's what I
don't think we have downspouts.
No downspouts?
No, I mean, that would concentrate the flow. It would confuse things, because then you'd have. You mentioned you wanted a swale. So if we took downspouts, we'd concentrate the flow, and we'd probably need an infiltrator. This way it's slower. You're recharging the ground, which is what you want to do. And then if it was a house and you had to enter at different points all along, if it was a house, the house, you'd have downspouts to dry wells, but not in this. You wouldn't need it in this case.
The only concern I have is that you claim that the gravel will hold an inch of water.
Yeah, I kind of measured it today. Basically it's a 2 foot wide, trench, and it's about a foot deep.
It's a foot deep, so it's not like it's just an inch deep.
No, it basically, I measured it out. It holds about an inch of runoff. Because you basically count about a third of the volume of stone, 3/4 inch crushed stone, is the volume is void space that can hold water. So
Right.
so if you take that volume and divide it by 3 of all the stone that's around there, you get about an inch of water that's incident on this amount of driveway and this amount of roof.
Well, my
I'm
only
just gonna make a
question,
comment that
go ahead.
to the owner that she should replace the stone probably every few years, every 5 years, maybe. Maybe clean out leaves and debris for sure.
Yeah, rake it out, rake out
Rake,
the.
rake out.
There
Or
could be
blow it
condition of it. I think Scarlett would be agreeable to that. Would you?
and
I'm
make
sorry, can you repeat that?
want to make one of the conditions would be that the owner would have to maintain the gravel by blowing out or raking out any debris that's over a period of time that falls in it. And I guess the recommendation is every year or twice a year. How many times a year would you suggest, Mike?
Usually you go twice a year. Whenever I have maintenance standards, I usually go twice a year.
Okay.
Spring, fall.
Is
Yeah,
that
spring.
is that sufficient, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, spring and fall, yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yes, that sounds doable. I'm happy to do that.
okay.
I'll make them.
Anybody else have anybody have any,
Go ahead. Sorry.
does anybody have any comments? Any questions? We're all set. The public is there. No comments, no questions.
Detail on the sedimentation control.
No public comments.
I'm asking. I don't see any hands raised, but
Yep.
Proctor Brook.
Move to close the public hearing.
motion to close the public hearing.
Robert, what is the narrowest point at which the narrow driveway narrows to the narrowest point?
The narrowest point in the driveway is up here.
Probably like just one car pass, like 18, 20 feet
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah. One car passing.
Is that enough for an ambulance just to get back? Hypothetically, if it was an ambulance could get back there, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good 12 foot. It's about, well, let's see, it's a good 14 to 16 feet driveway. Because that's the length of a car, and that would fit lengthwise here, and that's about 16 feet. I don't have the scale on me.
The driveway is there now, correct?
Yeah, the driveway's there, but we needed a grading, we needed to show grading. In fact, we've shown a finished floor of 86.7 of the slab of the garage, and then we're up quite a ways to 96 up in here. So basically, saw cutting the pavement here, repaving. I mean, overlay as needed. Where you need to repave, where you don't have less than an inch of thickness. You need to repave. And
so how far is the driveway that exists? Where does that go?
Yeah, let's see, here's some dimensions here. 9. Yeah, it's about 14 foot wide. How long is it? It's about 80 feet.
Well, it's 80 feet to there, but is there an existing pavement there now?
Yeah, this is existing. This here, from here,
Yeah.
so this is all existing. But what it is we needed to grade the driveway, so we had to change the grade. So this is new bituminous from here down, overlaying or totally new depth pavement.
I was asking a question to understand if the driveway was existing and you're repaving over it in certain parts, does the current existing driveway would take the ambulance or fire engine now. You don't have
Yeah,
to make anything.
it does now and it will in the future.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Sure.
Are there no other comments from the public or anybody? Then I'd like to get a motion to close the public hearing.
Someone already made the motion.
Arthur,
Okay.
yep.
Mike made the
Second?
motion. I'll second.
Roll call?
Was that was a motion to close?
Yes.
And that was, I heard Mike Rizzo seconded. Who made it to close it?
Mike
Arthur.
Vivaldi?
No,
Oh.
Arthur originally.
Yes, I did. Lucia.
Okay, so author, the motion was made by author, seconded by Mr. Rizzo. Roll call, Chairman Lazaris,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
All right, so the hearing is closed 6-0.
Make a motion to issue an order of conditions.
Thank you. Second?
Seconded.
Do you want to specify the numbers, 1 through 50, 51 erosion controls being inspected prior to commencement of work? And
Yep.
52, an as-built is required when requesting certificate of compliance, partial or full. And 53, remove the debris from the buffer and riverfront by
In addition to the RV and the Bobcat. Unless
Yes.
they're in the garage.
Do we have a date we'd like to see that by? A month from now, a month from the start?
Well, part of the project, part of the construction.
Commencement.
Obviously the Bobcat certainly can be used for the construction, in the construction. So who's ever doing the grading, if they were using that Bobcat, you can do that. I just don't want it there afterwards, unless it's stored inside.
Okay. So you were saying that remove the debris from the buffer before the start of the project and remove the equipment that's necessary at the end of the project, correct?
Yeah, and just as additional, whether it's a condition is, we don't want any material being put way down in the back of the property. So the green area is
The green area should be left clean.
the green area is I think is within the project limits, and beyond where the BMP place, there shouldn't be any dumping or stockpiling or spreading or changing the grade beyond that area.
Okay, and we also added the maintenance of the gravel to this
Yes.
conditions, okay?
Yeah.
Which is raking it twice a year?
Raking it or blowing it out to get cleaning it out twice a year.
The stones she has to, just so she knows what she's agreeing to and so that I know how to write it. So twice a year, you guys are asking her to rake or blow it or vacuum it. Well,
Clean.
you have to be very specific of what you want.
Remove any leaf debris that is blocking to prevent water from infiltrating into the stone.
Spring and fall. So that's when the leaves fall, you clean it up, and then in the springtime from the winter, you clean it up again, and should be good for the summer.
All right, so those are the conditions. Anything else? That motion was, do you want me to do a roll call or are you guys still thinking of stuff?
No, I'm good.
I'm good. Do a roll call, please.
Or we didn't second. Was there a
Yeah, just
second?
it was already made by Mike, seconded by Amanda, and then you guys discussed the conditions. And just to go back to the debris, when I mentioned debris in my notes, it wasn't about the Bobcat or the van or whatever's back there. It was about like actual debris that was leaning up against trees that I thought you guys wanted gone, like today.
Yeah, we do.
That was what I said initially. The debris that we discussed at the meeting was we want removed, and the owner said they would do that. But in addition to that, there was the Bobcat and the RV.
Yeah, so do you guys want the debris moved immediately? Because technically it's illegal to be storing
Yes.
it there anyway. So
Yes, remove it immediately.
Okay,
That's not-
and once it's removed, should I email and just confirm that it was removed and send pictures?
yes,
Okay.
please.
Is it possible to get at least a 2-week time span?
Yeah.
My fiance is out of the state for training, and
Yeah.
he should be back by Tuesday.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Give her a
Thank
month.
you.
Give her a month.
Okay, thank you.
No, we're not trying to create a problem. We're trying to help you out.
No, I understand. Thank you.
You
And it should be cleared out by
the
the
other
time
thing,
No,
it'll
it makes sense.
it'll be
It
fine.
should be cleared out by the time
You'll have to get it
we
out of
start.
the way anyway.
Yes. Might as well start from the beginning.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So just a
Everybody
clarification,
satisfied?
just a date on that, maybe middle of November, November 15th.
For removal of debris?
Or do you want to say the end of the month?
I'm sorry, this is for the removal of the debris?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So-
fine.
Anybody have an objection to that?
So Lucia will put November 15th.
Okay.
yep. I have it all written down, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a roll call if you guys are all set and no more conditions.
Correct.
All right, so that motion was made by Mr. Rizzo, second by Ms. Green. Roll call, Chairman Lazaris,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
the Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athis.
Yes.
All right, so that passes 6-0. It'll probably take me like a week, maybe. I might be able to work on this tomorrow, but give me a little bit of time. Hopefully next week I'll have the order conditions ready.
By that time, they might have the debris removed. Okay, are we all set?
Thanks a lot, folks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Item 6, continued public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by attorney John R. Kelty for the Farhat Group, owner and applicant AGA Foster LLC. Proposed work is a redevelopment of a former leather factory or a commercial storage building. Property is known as 47 Tremont Street, map 75, lot 165. In Peabody. Are we still waiting for a memo from Bob Langley?
Yes. If I may, John
Go ahead.
Kelty, the applicant, and I'm going to ask that this matter be continued until your November 8th meeting. And we're actually meeting with Mr. Langley tomorrow
Okay.
on
Move
this
to
and
continue.
several other matters.
Move to continue.
You can take care of all the issues with Bob tomorrow. The other note I have is there were no stormwater docs submitted with the NOI application. Has that been done?
Yes, in the latest packet, there were stormwater.
Okay. All right, so we're voting for a continuance.
I'll make a motion to continue this project until November meeting.
Seconded.
Roll call.
or that motion was made by Mr. Vivaldi, and I don't know who seconded it faster. Amanda? That was who I
Yeah.
heard. So motion to continue, made by Vivaldi, seconded by Ms. Green. Chairman Lazares,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes,
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
All right, that passes 6-0.
Thank you very much.
But through the chair, I do want to say, I believe that the stormwater was not submitted, which is fine because I did receive a letter from Chris Mello saying that the stormwater management was submitted under 55801 has been partially constructed, the proposed building on 55929 with the previous design and calculations and does not create any material change. So that's up to like Langley and you guys to decide, if you guys, how you want to go about this at that point, once maybe Bob
Yeah.
reviews this.
Yeah,
I wish I was invited in that meeting because I've been working on the site for years, but that's fine. I wasn't included in it, and I await your memos from the memos and whatever comes out of the meeting you guys have tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
thank you, Jack.
Item 7, this item has been continued until November 8th hearing. I'll read it for the record. Continued public hearing on a notice of intent submitted by Williams and Sparagus LLC, Thorson Ackerley, Free, Fleet. The proposed work is the construction of a commercial building, driveways, parking, landscaping, utilities, stormwater, public walking trail with canoe launch and riverfront area restoration. The property is known as 60 Pulaski Street, map 53, lot 85, Peabody, Mass. So there's really no need to discuss or to vote.
No.
Right?
I believe you guys already continued this to December, so
did.
there was no
We
need to
did.
read that.
We did. The only thing we're waiting for, I guess, is DPS is sending it out for peer review. So we'll wait and see what happens. Okay, moving
When did we continue it to December?
last month. Oh, we didn't. We moved it to November. It says it's continued to November.
That must have been a typo if that's on my, because I checked with Chris Sparagas, and he said that, I mean, I can look at my notes right now, but he told me that he agreed to, I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess I don't know. Are you guys going to make a motion to continue it then? I thought that was already continued to December, according to Mr. Sparagas.
Well,
Either way,
Let's just
if it's
vote.
already been,
DPS
if we've already
needs,
voted, if we've
DPS
already
needs-
voted to continue it to December, then there's no need to vote again. Right?
yeah, well, through the chair, the DPS needs time to review this.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so if December, doesn't bother me, November, December, probably December, because they're gonna need a couple weeks to review this. They haven't gotten their money yet to even go to peer review yet. So they can't do anything until the money's in place, so they can go to peer review, so.
That's fine.
So we just we'll wait till they're ready, so December's probably more.
December is fine. We'll see you guys in December.
They're not here because they thought it was continued to December.
No, it's fine. Moving on to item 8. And this one we are not discussing because they're not here either. This is the country club. Correct?
So
Yeah,
are we gonna continue this till November or December?
December.
Continue to December, is that what you said?
The 60 Pulaski Street project.
No, Stu, we're on to the SSC,
Yeah,
SCC.
we're on item 8 now.
Stu, we're on to
Okay, you ready to
SCC.
separate? I thought Amanda was questioning the 60 Pulaski Street, item 7.
No,
Item 8.
No, with the
Item 8 is continued till possibly December.
Possibly,
There
is it
is,
or not?
well, we have currently,
Can you guys just make a motion just to continue 60 Pulaski to December? Because now I'm absolutely confused and I don't know. Can someone just make a motion to continue 60 or to what month are we in? Yes, you made a motion already to continue it to November. For some reason, I'm thinking it's November right now. So yes, you already made the motion to continue to November, not December. So that was where the
Right.
issue is. I just looked at my notes. It's been continued to
That was-
November. So no motions needed. We can move on.
so 7 is November, correct?
60
Item 7.
Pulaski, 60 Pulaski Street. It says November, made by Rizzo, seconded by Amanda, 6-0. So now you guys are on the country club, which there was a couple of emails going today with just the country club DeRosa and the officers about a continuance.
Yes.
You've already told
What is it?
country
Let's
club.
vote on it. Let's go.
I'm sorry, Amanda, what did you say?
I said, when are we continuing to this?
The country club issue,
Either
plan
November or
had-
December, whatever you guys, but you already told the country
I
club that you
said
weren't having a
December.
discussion tonight.
Move to continue until December.
Seconded.
roll call.
Yep, so there's a motion to continue to December. That motion was made by Arthur, seconded by Amanda. Roll call, Chairman Lazares,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
Yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
So that passes 6-0, so the country club will not be heard until December.
Correct.
So-
If we get correspondence from them before that, we'll, accept it and send it on, but we'll vote on, they'll listen to them present in December. Minor permits and trees. Minor permit for 15 Winter Street, rebuild decks in the same footprint as existing decks. That was Lucia approved that at 9/14. Minor permit 12 Sylvan Street, remove existing front entry landing, install frost wall, build retaining wall, handicap ramp, covered entryway all over 150 feet from the river. All work on existing pavement and no new impervious will be created. No stormwater features will be changed. Lucia approved that on 9/6. Next minor permit was 300 Andover Street. Remove the Bank of America ATM kiosk and pave the area to match existing. I assume that's been done. Lucia, was that done? Lucia, you there?
I am. I don't have a printed, like, you have to be, I'm having a really bad day today. So,
No.
but I'm
question
trying
was-
to, I don't have it printed. So I'm trying to find it electronically. You're asking about the kiosk?
Yeah, I just want to, you say it's approved on 9/8, and my question was,
I would
is
have,
it,
I mean, I didn't put any, if there's a condition, I don't know.
no, it just is.
For which
I
one?
just asking if it was a done.
For the kiosk at 300 Andover Street?
Yes, has that been removed?
I
and
cannot tell
continued
you
to be
for
paid?
certain whether it's done. I do not know. I know that they put
Okay.
erosion controls down, and I believe part of the minor permit is it's conditioned that they have to let me know when the work is done.
Okay.
But I know I saw pictures of erosion controls, and it's, it probably is done because, I mean, it's pretty minimal work, which is why it was a minor permit. So they put their erosion
Okay.
controls down, and I would imagine it's done, but I can't say for certain.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on minor permits and trees? Moving on, other items.
I do have a question regarding
Go ahead.
Brooksby, if they reached out to Lucia and asked if they started the retaining wall work that they are seeking to do.
You're talking about Brooksby Village.
Yes,
Brooksby Village, okay.
yes.
Are you talking about the minor permit that's on this?
No, it was
there
a permit. It was they presented to the Concom in the last meeting, and they
Yep,
had
they just pulled their permit today.
okay. Just curious.
Okay. Anybody else? We have to approve the minutes for September 13th
Well,
meeting.
can you guys accept those minor permits, please? You could just make accept all three minor permits.
Do I hear a motion to accept all the minor permits?
So moved.
Second?
Second,
Raise your hands. Any rate.
That motion was made by Amanda, seconded by Arthur. Roll call. Chairman Lazares.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo.
Rizzo, you're muted.
You
Okay,
still
yes,
All right, that was a yes, correct, Mike?
yes,
All right, Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos.
yes.
All right, so those pass 6-0. Thank you.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes of September 13th?
So moved.
Second?
second,
Have a motion to adjourn?
Well, that motion was made by Amanda, seconded by Mr. Rizzo. Unfortunately, if you want to continue meeting via Zoom, we have to do a roll call for everything, or we can't meet via
Okay.
Zoom because it's a
All right, go
violation.
ahead.
Roll call. Chairman Lazares,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Mike,
Yes.
yep, I heard a yes. Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos.
Yes.
All right, now you guys can adjourn, please.
Do we need a roll call?
I mean, I think it's just appropriate because they say all votes have to be roll call. They don't say not the adjournment vote. So I would just do the roll call because we don't want people to file complaints about us.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn,
Second,
Second?
All right, I heard Mike Rizzo and I think I heard Arthur second that.
Yeah.
All right. So we adjourned at 8:20, made by Rizzo, seconded by Arthur. Roll call. Chairman Lazares,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Rizzo,
yes.
Secretary Vivaldi,
Yes.
Commissioner Comack,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Athos.
yes.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for a
All right.
meeting.
This was good.
Go and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you, guys. This was don't get too used to this though, because we have a bunch of big ones coming.
We just moved everything to November or December, so yeah.
Yeah, so November and December are not going to be fun. All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Night.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Thank you, PAT.
Thanks, PAT.